Hello dear students, I Ganesh Kumar Padhi welcome all of you to this session of plus 2 second year mathematics, and today we are going to discuss on the chapter relation and function. Okay, in our previous class we are also completing all the theories, informations regarding the chapter relation and function. Today we have to discuss on the chapter relation and function, but we have to discuss about its exercise. Okay, so my dear students, as per you are asking the doubts, okay, so we are going to cover those portions, those exercise from our book Elements of Mathematics, and today we will start on the question number 6. Okay, so we start from question number 6. As in the previous video some students are asking, sir, these are the doubts again, so I am clearing it. So we are starting from question number 6. Okay, so please again go through. Today we have to go for question number 6 onwards. Okay, so let us start from question number 6. So what is question number 6 is that give an example of a relation which is reflexive, symmetric, and but not transitive. That is the condition. Reflexive, symmetric, but not transitive. So my dear students, how to form the relation? Let us take let A equal to the set 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now we have to take a relation R which is subset of A cross A and consider R equal to, okay, as it is reflexive, consider R equal to 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and we consider, suppose it is so it is for reflexive. Okay, now we will go for the transitivity, not transitive but it is symmetric. So what we take 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, it is symmetric in nature, yes or no? And we will take, suppose we will take here 2, 3. Okay, and 2, 3 we are taking 2, 3, or we are taking simply 1, 3 and 3, 1. So you see, this is an example where the relation is reflexive, symmetric, but not transitive. Why not transitive? Because you see, you can see 2 is related to 1, 1 is related to 3, but the pair 2, 3 is missing. Yes or no? So this is a relation where it is reflexive, symmetric, and not transitive. Okay, my dear students. Next we will go for some other question. Suppose some other bit. A relation which is reflexive, which is transitive, which is reflexive, which is transitive, but not symmetric. So here you see it is somehow different from the first one. Okay, it should be reflexive, it should be transitive, but not symmetric. Okay. For it, what we do, we took simply an example 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 1, 2. My dear students, it is reflexive in nature. Okay. It is symmetric, not symmetric. Why? Because 1, 2 is there, its reverse pair 2, 1 is missing. Okay. So it is reflexive, it is not symmetric, and it is transitive. Okay, my dear students. So these are the examples. In this way you have to proceed, you have to write the examples. Okay. And we will go for the some other bits also. Suppose we will go for bit 3. Okay. Suppose we have to, suppose we will go for the another bit for your clarification. I am cleaning the board now. You see, Suppose I am writing the bit 5h. Okay. Transitive, the relation should be transitive. Okay. But neither reflexive nor symmetric. Okay. So my dear students, in the previous video, it may have some confusion, some data may be missing, okay, due to technical error or due to some problem. But today we have to clarify it, that we have to form a relation which is transitive but not reflexive, not symmetric. Okay. So again I am doing it for you. You see, for it what I am taking, let a set is taken, let a set equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. Let there is a set A which is equal to 1, 2, 3, and let the relation R on A, R is subset of across A, edge R equal to. Okay. What the R is doing? Suppose I am taking some elements H, which is should be transitive, okay, but not reflexive. So reflexive condition is missing, but it should be transitive. So what I do, I take a pair. So what I do, it is transitive. Okay, so I do 1, 1, and I take suppose 2, 3. Okay, so you can see this relation is what? This relation is transitive. Okay, my dear students, it is what type of nature? It is transitive in nature, but it is not reflexive. Okay, why transitive? Because you see 1, 1 is there, and from 1 there is no 1 is not again connected to anything. So 2, 3 is there, 2, 3 is not connected to anything. Okay, so we can say this relation is what? This relation is transitive. But it is not reflexive because all identical pairs are not present. Okay, it is not symmetric also. It is not symmetric also. You can write it in other way also. You can write with a single pair also. So this relation is transitive, but it is not reflexive. It is not symmetric. Clear, my dear students? So in this way we can proceed, or we can write some of the examples for the clarity. Okay, you see I am going to give this again for you, because in the previous video you can see that there is somehow some students are asking, sir, how this is possible. Okay, so for your clarity I am giving again this for your information, that this is the way to write the transitive relation, which is a relation which is transitive in nature but neither reflexive nor symmetric. Okay. Next we will move to some other questions, my dear students. You see, now we are going to discuss some more questions. Okay. So next we will go to question number 7. So question number 7, what it is given? You see, the question number 7 is given, let R be a relation on X. Okay, if R is symmetric, so it is the condition is given, if R is symmetric. Okay, then what happened? Then X related to Y implies Y is related to X. Okay, next it is given, if R is transitive, if r is transitive, then x related to y and y related to x implies x is related to x. Okay, so this is given. So whenever a relation is symmetric, and transitive, then it is also reflexive. Okay. What is wrong in this argument? It is given what is wrong in this argument. Okay, so my dear students, now we will go to see, this is the question and we see what is the wrong in this argument. Okay, so you see a relation is symmetric, then x related to y is y related to x. Okay, clear? If it is transitive, x related to y, y related to x implies x is related to x. So whenever a relation is symmetric and transitive, then it is also reflexive. What is the wrong in this statement? Okay, my dear students, I show it with an example. Okay, the example is, solution is with an example. Consider a set, consider x equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay, and suppose r equal to a relation which is 2, 3, 3, 2 and 2, 2. Okay, on x. Now you see this relation is symmetric, this relation is transitive, but it is not reflexive. Okay, why? Because you see the reverse pairs are, if the reverse pairs are present, it is called as symmetric, but it is not reflexive because all identical pairs of x are not belonging to R. Okay, so here in this so what is wrong in this argument? You can say, therefore every relation which is symmetric and transitive may not be reflexive. Why? As domain of R is not equal to set X. The domain may not be equal to set X. Okay, so my dear students, a relation which is symmetric and transitive may not be reflexive. Okay, so with this, this is the example to show question number 7. Okay, my dear students, please go through it and check it. Clear? So I am cleaning the board now. We will go to question number 8. So what is question number 8 is given? You see, the question number 8 is given as, suppose a box contains, I am writing the question for you. Suppose a box contains a set of n balls, a set of n balls, n is greater than or n is it is your greater than or equal to 4, denoted by B. I am writing the question first, okay? Of 4 different colors, of 4 different colors, maybe different sizes, maybe different sizes, that is red, blue, green and yellow. Okay, so that a relation R defined by B, defined on B as R equal to the ordered pair B1, B2, such that balls B1 and B2 have same color. Have same color is an equivalence relation on B. How many equivalence classes can you find with respect to R? With respect to R. Okay. So this is the question number 8. Now we are going to discuss, my dear students, we are going to discuss about this question. You see the question is written that there is a box contains a set of n balls which is denoted as B. Okay. So B is the set consisted of n balls. So I am writing the solution here. Here B equal to set of n balls of 4 different colors, of 4 different colors. Okay, that is red, blue, green and yellow. Okay, these 4 different colors are taken: red, blue, green and yellow. Okay, now we have to take a relation R. Here R is the relation defined on B. R is what? R is the set of R is equal to B1, B2, such that balls B1 and B2 have same color. Have same color. Okay, is an equivalence relation. Okay, that we have to show. So it is the solution. Now we have to show, and now I am going to clean the board. We have to show that this relation is an equivalence relation on B. Okay. So you see, to show R is an equivalence relation. R is an equivalence relation. Okay. Now for it, what do? We will take as so as R is we have to show R is an equivalence relation for reflexive. Okay. Suppose we take a ball, any ball we take from the set B. Let suppose we will take B1. Okay. B1 is having same color with itself. So color of B1 is alike with the color of B1 also. So it is having same color. So that implies B1 is belonging to R. Yes or no? As the color of B1 is equal with the color of B1 also. For all B1 belonging to B. Therefore, R is what? Reflexive in nature. Now we are going for symmetric. What is the meaning of symmetric? Suppose color of B1 is equal with color of B2. Okay. Let B1, B2 belonging to R. That is, suppose we take it. And what it implies? It implies color of B1 is equal to, is of same color with B2. Is of same color with B2. That implies color of B2 is same with color of B1. Yes or no? That implies B2 B1 is also belonging to R. Therefore R is what? Symmetric. So now R is reflexive in nature and R is also symmetric in nature. And we are going for the transitive case. Okay. And we check out the transitive case. Now you see it is reflexive, it is symmetric. So we will go for the transitive case. So I am cleaning these two parts. Okay. For transitive. For it what we do? Let B1, B2, B3, three balls we take belonging to set B. Let B1, B2 and B2, B3 is belonging to R. As B1, B2 belongs to R, the order pair B1, B2 belongs to R. But it implies color of B1 is equal to color of B2. Okay. As ball 2 and ball 3, B2, B3 is belonging to R implies color of ball B2 is equal with color of ball B3. So we can say therefore color of B1 is equal to color of B2 is equal with color of ball 3 or color of B3, color of ball B3. Okay. So that implies color of ball B1 is equal to color of ball B3. That implies B1, B3 is belonging to R. So you see, we are taking B1, B2, B1, B2 and B2, B3 belonging to R. But, and from there we obtain B1, B3 is belonging to R also. Yes or no? So this relation is also what? Is also transitive in nature. Okay, my dear students. So we obtain that hence, or we can say therefore R is what? R is an equivalence relation. Okay, R is an equivalence relation. Now we will go for the equivalence classes you find with respect to R. Okay. So I am cleaning it. So therefore the equivalence classes with respect to R is of four types. What? One is it is the class view, another is class red, another is class of green balls, another is class of yellow. Okay, in this way, so what here we are taking the balls be such that balls are having same blue color, and it is the class B such that balls are having same red color. It is the class green, means it is the set B so that balls are having same green color. Okay, and it is the class yellow, means it is the set B such that balls are having same what? Yellow color. So in this way, my dear students, we are able to get the equivalence, four equivalence classes. So this is about the question number 8, and we are able to solve the question number 8. And next we will proceed to our next question. Okay, so please make a note of those things, those are very important. So now we will proceed to question number 9. So question number 9 is find the number of equivalence relations on x equal to 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this is the question, that x is given as a set, x is given, it is given as 1, 2, 3, and we have to find the number of equivalence, possible number of equivalence relations. Okay, my dear students, many students are confused while solving this question. So what should be the easy way that we can go for the solution of this question? Okay, so you see what should be the easy way? What you should do, if it is the given set, first of all try to find the partitions of the set. Okay, it is the easy way. So let us find the partitions of set X, and thereafter you are able to get the number of equivalence relations. Okay, so I am going for the solution. You see how we are going to solution. Let X equal to 1 2 3. Okay, so if X equal to 1 2 3, therefore the partitions of X are as follows. So we can make the partitions of X as one partition can be written as, so what is a partition? Partition is the collection of subsets. Okay, so we can make, okay, and from it possible equivalence relation is, and from each partition we can get a equivalence relation also. So possible equivalence relation is what you have to do? We have to make the cross product. So 1 1, and if you make the cross product, what you get? 2 2, then 3 3. Okay, then how to do next partition? Suppose we keep 1 2 and we keep 3. So the possible equivalence relation is in this way. You will proceed. Okay, and what you obtain? You see, you obtain 1 1. If you make cross product, 1 1 1 2, then 2 1 2 2, and 3 is making cross product 3 3. Okay, so this is the one way to get another equivalence relation. Now you have idea. What I hope you have idea. Next, what to do? How to make a partition? I keep 1 3 as a subset and 2 as another subset. So I split X into different subsets whose union is equal to set X and whose intersection is 5. So possible equivalence relation is what to write? Yes, I can write it 1 1 1 3 3 1 1 1 1 3. Next I can write 3 1. Next 3 3. Okay, and for 2 I can write it as 2 2. Okay, and next from 4 I can write as what I can write? I can write as 2 3 and 1. Okay, so possible equivalence relation is, what is the possible equivalence relation? 2 2 2 3, then 3 2, then 3 3, then 1 1. Okay, yes or no? Next, how we will make a partition? As the total set 1 2 3. Okay, it will make as a partition. So total subset itself. So the possible equivalence relation is, what we do? It is how we can write? You can write it as 1 1 1 2 1 3. Okay, next 2 1 2 2 2 3, then 3 1 3 2 and 3 3. Okay. So in this way we are able to get 5 number of equivalence relations from the partition. Okay, you see, this is about the question number 9. How to get the partitions? My dear students, how to get the equivalence relations? By making the partitions. It is very easy, that make the partitions and get the possible equivalence relations. Okay, so this is about the question number 9. Okay, now we will proceed to question number 10. So I am cleaning the board now. So you see, what is the question number 10? So the question number 10, I am writing the question first. Let R be the relation on the set of real numbers. On the set of real numbers. You know the set of real numbers is denoted by the set capital R. Okay. So the relation R is defined on the real numbers. Okay. And how it is defined such that A related to B if and only if A minus B is an integer. Okay. Test. The question is given test whether R is an equivalence relation or not. R is an equivalence relation or not. Okay. If so, find equivalence classes. Of 1 and 1 by 2. Of 1 and 1 by 2 with respect to its equivalence relation. So that is the question. So what we have to what is given and what we have to show, that a relation is given between the real numbers. Okay. And what is the condition? That A is related to B if and only A minus B is an integer. And what is our task? We have to show that this relation is an equivalence relation or not. That we have to verify. Okay. So let us first verify, and after finding a equivalence relation, as it suggests the equivalence classes, we have to find the equivalence classes of 1 and 1 by 2. Okay. So you see, so I am going to do the solution. Given, or let R equal to the order pair AB such that A minus B is an integer. Okay. We have to show R is an equivalence relation. Okay. Then how to show? For reflexive, we have to check out for reflexive. Consider A belongs to R, real number. Okay. A is a real number. That implies A minus A equal to 0 is an integer. Obviously, if I subtract a real number from itself, I will get 0, which is an integer. Okay. That implies the ordered pair A is belonging to R. For all A belongs to R, real number, set of real numbers. Yes or no? Therefore, what I can say? Therefore, R is reflexive. Clear? Therefore, R is reflexive. Okay. Next, we will go for the symmetric nature. Okay. We are going for the symmetric nature, and we see whether the relation is symmetric or not. So I am doing it here for symmetric. Let AB, the ordered pair AB is belonging to R. And what it means? If the ordered pair AB is belonging to the relation, what it means? It means, that means A minus B is an integer. Okay. That implies B minus A is also an So we can say the ordered pair BA is also belonging to R. Therefore R is what? Symmetric. Now we are going to check the transitive nature. Okay. So for it I am cleaning the board. For it we are going to check the transitive nature. Okay. So what we do? So we are going to check the transitive nature. So for transitive, it is the next part. For transitive. For we take any three real numbers, A, B, C belongs to R, real numbers, okay. And consider AB is belonging, the order pair AB is belonging to R, okay. And BC is also belonging to R. As the order pair AB is belonging to R, what it implies? A minus B is an integer. As BC is belonging to R, what it implies? B minus C is an integer. Okay. Suppose it is equal to K, suppose it is equal to M. Now let it is 1 and let it is 2. Now if I add them, adding 1 and 2, what you get? A minus C minus B plus B are going to be cancelled, yes or no? So we get A minus C is an integer. How? Which is equal to K plus M. Okay, set arbitrary values are there, so set. So that implies what we obtained? The order pair AC is belonging to R, to that relation, yes or no? Therefore, what is the conclusion? R is an equivalence relation. Okay, so we obtain R is an equivalence relation. Clear, my dear students? So now we are able to show R is equivalence relation. Now we have to find the equivalence classes of 1 and 1 by 2. Okay, how? Let us see. I am cleaning it. Therefore, equivalence class of 1. How it is denoted as? Like this. And what it means? It means it is the set of numbers. Those are related with 1 and their difference in the relation means their difference is an integer. Now my dear students, think that what type of numbers should I subtract from 1 and I will get a integer. Yes, it is 0, it is 1, it is 2, it is 3, it is minus 1, it is minus 2 and so on, yes or no? So you can see that if I subtract a integer from 1, I will get a integer, okay? So the equivalence class of 1 is the set of those numbers which is equal to the set of Z. Clear? Now equivalence class of 2 or 1 by 2 is written like this. And what it means? It is the set of those numbers, those are subtracted from 1 by 2, but we will get a integer. You see, it is equal to 1 by 2, it is 3 by 2, it is 5 by 2, it is 7 by 2, okay? And it is your minus 1 by 2, minus 3 by 2, yes or no? So in this way we are getting so on, so on. So on generalizing, we can say it is the x such that x is equal to 2k plus 1 by 2 where k is belonging to Z. Okay, so it is the set x equal to 2k plus 1 by 2, where k is belonging to z. So in this way we are able to show that this is an equivalence relation, and we are able to get the equivalence classes of 1 and 1 by 2. Okay, my dear students, look carefully. Okay, next we will go for some other questions also. Okay, you see. The next is on the question number 11. Okay, so what is given? Find the least positive integer. Find the least positive integer r such that it is given as 185 belonging to R7. Okay, so modulo 7. So what do you have to do? So just to get the value of R, you have to divide 185 with R with 7, and you have to find the remainder. Okay, so that is the least positive. So if you divide, you will get what is the value? Is 3 is the remainder, so the value of R equal to 3. Okay, so that should be your answer. Clear, my dear students? I am going for another one. So if what you get here, you see, if you divide, many students are doing the difficulty. If you divide it, we have to put it, okay, a smaller number as compared to minus 12. So it is, you see, the value of R is equal to 1. Okay, so in this way you have to find the least positive integer. Okay, my dear students. Next, we will go for the next question. Those are the hints to get the solutions. Okay, and you see how we are going to solve the next questions. So the next question is, find the least non-negative integer R such that seven into 13 into 23 into 413 is congruous to R modulo 11. So how you can solve the question, my dear students? Look carefully. You have to find the suitable value of R such that their difference minus R is divisible by 11. Okay, so how to get the value of R? For it, what you have to do? Divide it. Okay, so if you divide these two, this is equal to 91. 91 is when you are dividing with 11. Okay, so you are getting is congruent to what you get when it is divided modulo 11. You get means the remainder is equal to 3. Okay, when 23 modulo 11, you are getting the remainder as 1. When 413 modulo 11, you are getting the remainder as 6. Okay, my dear students, in this way you are able to get the results, that is 3, that is 1, and that is 6. So what we obtain for these two results? We are obtaining 3. For this single one we are obtaining 1, and for this we are obtaining 6 is congruent to r modulo 11. Okay. So you see it is what you obtain now, 18 is congruent to r modulo 11. Now you can see which should be the number when it is subtracted from r and you will get a integer. So that implies 18 minus r is divisible by what? By 11. Okay. So the value of r should be, the minimum value of r should be equal to 7. Okay. So in this way we are able to get the solutions of those type of questions. Okay. Now we are going to solve with another question for your clarity. Okay. You see, it is the question number bit 3. What is given? 1237 modulo 4 plus 985 modulo 4 is congruent to r modulo 4. Okay? Yes or no? So how to get the value of r? Just from it we will get the result. If what is the remainder part? So this is equal to you can see when I divide it, I will get the remainder as 1. Okay, and you will get the value as, you can divide it also with modulo 4. Okay, so you have to divide it with 4. So when you divide, so I am getting again 1 is congruent to r modulo 4. So that implies 2 minus r is divisible by 4. So my dear students, you can find the value of r, the suitable value of r, the minimum value of r. So what should be the value of r? Therefore r is equal to 2. Okay. So in this way you can able to get the solutions of the congruence classes. Okay. With this, now we are going to for another solution. That is next question. You see, I am going to solve another question for you. That is question number 14. It is given, the question is given, find 3 positive integers satisfying 3x is congruent to 2 modulo 7. So how to get the solution? You should see this type of solution is possible. Okay, and to get the solution we have to divide a suitable number. Okay, we have to find the value of x. So for it, what I can say, multiplying 5 on both sides, what I can say, 15x is congruent to 10 modulo 7. Yes or no? Or I can say x is congruent to 3 modulo 7. So the minimum value of x, that implies x minus 3 is divisible by 7. Therefore, the values of x are 3, 10 and 17 and so on. Okay. So in this way, we are discussing some of the problems of the chapter relation and function. Okay, and it is from exercise 1A. So my dear students, we meet in our next class with some more problems from our next exercise. Till then, thank you. Okay. So thank you to all and goodbye.